I think the worst one I ever had was a learn to swim book. I was given a learn to swim book and I could swim already. In fact, I was pretty good at swimming, so it didn't come in very handy.
Pretty useless.
That's Liz.
And what's been your most memorable Christmas as a child?
Well, long ago, when I was about 3 years old, I can remember having a Christmas tree that was so big that the top of it touched the ceiling when it was put up. And that wasn't all. The other thing that was very special about it was when they put the decorations on, they put on these candles, real wax candles that you clip in little wire holders, and they put those all over the tree. Then you went outside the room, and the tree was lit. And when I came back in, it looked wonderful.
Wax candles there, that's going back a few years. Now here's a question for you. Who wears a red hat and pops up at Christmas time? Well, that's right, it's Yok Yok, and at Christmas time, just like the rest of the year, he's pretty nippy, so you've got to watch out for him.
Our second competition entrant, who won, is David Neal from Halifax. David, what was your idea again?
Well, I thought of getting you out and about to see Christmas trees and where they came from and what happened to them.
And you had a rather unusual reason for thinking of that, didn't you?
Oh, yeah, well, I thought you might as well get the Adlib team working for a change.
Yeah, so I'm sure we appreciate that.
Yeah.
Now, and anyway, well, we took your idea about Christmas trees, and this is the film we made. This is Castle Howard in Yorkshire. It was built in the 17th century by Charles Howard, the 3rd Earl of Carlisle. It's now one of the country's best-known stately homes. You may have seen it recently in the TV series Brideshead Revisited. But as well as that, Castle Howard's famous for something else. Something that begins with this. These seeds are very valuable for Castle Howard estate. In 10 years' time, they'll all have become 8-foot-high Christmas trees. I went down to the estate plantation to find out how the trees are grown. Tommy Hardesty is the Christmas tree expert at Castle Howard. As head forester on the estate, he's been working with them for over 35 years. In March, the young seeds are planted out in nursery beds like this. And after 4 months, the young trees have reached this sort of height.
Everybody needs a Christmas tree at Christmas. What would Christmas be?
These are 4-year-old trees. They're about 18 inches high. And this last 4 or 5 inches is this year's growth. And after 4 years in the nursery, they go out into the forest to be planted out. The tradition of having a Christmas tree in Britain only started in the 19th century. For hundreds of years before that, people had brought small clusters of branches into their homes and decorated them with candles. But the idea of having a tree at Christmas was made popular by Prince Albert, Queen Victoria's husband, who had a Christmas tree brought over from his native Germany and put up in Windsor Castle. People began to follow his example, and the most popular tree, the Norway spruce, was planted all over the country in forests like this to meet the demand. How would I know a good tree when I see one?
Well, the thing to look for is to look for a good, even-shaped tree, a tree that's evenly foliaged all the way around with the branches nice and even and well-spaced, no more than 6 to 8 inches between the desses of the trees.
And what advice would you give to people who've got Christmas trees in their home about looking after them?
Well, the best thing to do is to go to any good garden centre and you can buy aerosol